guys, it's me Robyn. Welcome back to Cats Out the Bag. So for those of you who don't know, this is a podcast where basically we're going to level up together. We're on a self-growth journey and self-improvement. Last episode I spoke to you a bit about motivation and how to motivate yourself, and I said that there were going to be 3 parts to this video. So this is the second part and I cannot wait to get into this, but before we do, if you are watching on YouTube, please do make sure to subscribe and leave a thumbs up and a comment on videos you'd like me to do in the future. And if you're listening on Spotify, it'd be wonderful to have a 5-star rating. So for those of you watching on YouTube, you'll actually see my cat here. This is the cat who basically gave me inspiration for the name Cats Out the Bag. I don't know why, I have a pet cat, this is Cosmo, she's absolutely unreal, gorgeous girl, and gave me basically gave me the idea to call this podcast Cats Out the Bag, because I'm obsessed with cats, basically. So yeah, just thought I'd let you know that. And yeah, so this is obviously the second part of the Leveling Up Yourself Self-Motivation episode, and I'm so excited to be filming this for you all because, well, I'm actually just going to go over what I said in the first episode. I feel like it was a good one and went into a lot of depth. It was about half an hour long, and I feel like that's kind of the perfect time for a podcast in my eyes. So I went over 4 different steps to motivating yourself more. Those were putting your goal on the calendar, working towards your goal a habit, plan for imperfection, and set small goals to build momentum. Now, if you have watch that, then you'll obviously know the in-depth about all of those 4 things. If you haven't watched it, you can definitely go back and watch last week's, maybe watch it before you watch this one. It doesn't really matter, they're not really in a specific order, but they're basically 4 steps to motivate yourself, and I'm going to be talking about some more for you all today. I think, well, I have 3 or 4 today, and then I've got a 3rd part to this episode. Crazy, I know that it's in 3 parts already, but I just have so much to talk about motivation, and I thought what a good way to start, because I feel like a lot of people lack motivation, and especially in summer a lot of people are motivating themselves to get fit, or I mean, I'm not saying people have to do that, but a lot of people, that is their goal. So yeah, should we just get into this, guys? So the 5th, well, I mean, I'm going to say this is the 5th step, because if you've watched the first video you'll know the first 4. And yes, so the 5th one is to track your progress. So obviously with motivation it's a tricky thing, like it can be really difficult to motivate yourself, and there's certain ways that can kind of help you to basically give yourself a nudge to take that step forward and motivate yourself to do something. I mean, it can be different depending on what it is, of course. Like, I'm working towards some goals right now. One would be getting my YouTube channel to 20k. For those of you who don't know, I have a YouTube channel where I post fashion, lifestyle content, and getting this podcast channel up to 100 subscribers maybe. I mean, I'd like to hit 1,000, of course. Everyone does, but it would just be wonderful to, yeah, I mean, I'm honestly just setting goals. It just makes you feel better when you then achieve them. Anyway, the 5th one that I have for you all today is tracking your progress. By the way, I have notes over here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can keep seeing me like look over to the side. That's because I have notes written down so I don't forget anything or miss anything out. So seeing progress is obviously highly motivating. Like, obviously the most obvious one would be going to the gym. When you go to the gym, when you start seeing progress, that's when you want to do even more, because you've seen yourself go up a weight or build muscle or lose weight, whatever it is, and that makes you think, oh my goodness, I can actually do this, let's keep going. What most people forget is that it takes time. So to actually properly notice something from the gym, I'd give it at least 2 months personally. I mean, if you go consistently, at least 2 months before you properly notice a difference. And then obviously progresses slowly from there. But anyway, it's just tracking it makes you really realise how far you've come. If you take a photo, for example, if you're trying to lose weight, not saying anyone needs to. If you take a photo in the mirror every day of your life and then you look back at that photo like 3 months later, you'll see, oh my goodness, I've actually lost weight. But like, you might not necessarily notice it on yourself because you see yourself every single day. You know, you see yourself in the mirror every single day, and you then don't really realise when you're actually losing weight because you notice you don't notice the little changes, and they're progressively getting bigger. And other people will notice when they go months without seeing you, but that's a different story. But there are so many different ways to track progress. So this could literally be anything. Like, I know I used to like see how quickly I could do 100 squats. I don't know why, because obviously now I know that is awful, because obviously it's more about form than speed. But I would write it on my calendar, and I would have like a speed for how quickly I could do 100 squats, and I would do it every single night, and I'd write it on my calendar just to track the progress, so you can literally see it getting faster and faster. But like things with YouTube, even, I track that every single month. I actually mentioned this in the first part of this video. I actually have a like way of tracking. I have it on my phone, and I track my subscribers. So on the first of every month, I actually keep a track of how many subscribers, followers, whatever, on all platforms that I have. Sometimes this is motivating because you gain, but sometimes obviously you lose. So this month, so June 1st I had 14,318. July 1st I had 15,554, so that's over 1,000 subscribers. Instagram, however, I gained 10, that's it. And TikTok, I actually lost 200 followers. So it is different on every platform. Sometimes it's motivating, sometimes it's not, but you need to keep track of it, because then when it is motivating and you are noticing a difference, then you're actually noticing it, which is so important, because otherwise you're just going to think you're getting nowhere, and that's just so sad. Like, if you're actually putting work towards something, you don't want to feel like you're not getting anywhere. And so there's obviously loads of like apps and things you can get to help you like track progress, or you could just use like your phone, like I do, like your notes page, or literally anything. But yeah, so like you could literally like have, I don't know, a piece of paper where you track everything, and you can draw a little like a progress bar or anything, and hang it somewhere where you see it regularly, so you can see your progression basically. So yeah, obviously when you're setting these like targets and like tracking your progress and things, you have to have smart goals, because otherwise when you're tracking your progress, you're not going to notice any difference if they're not smart. So for those of you who don't know, a SMART goal is, so it's an acronym, so S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for timely, time-bound. So what that basically means, I'll run you through. So specific, S, it has to be specific. So say you're setting a goal and you're saying, I want to lose some fat. No, that's not specific. Say like, well, I mean, it's actually really hard to completely unpick this, but a SMART goal has to be specific, like completely specific. I want to lose fat by cutting out carbs. Measurable, I want to lose fat by cutting out carbs in the next 3 weeks. Obviously that's not really realistic, but do you know what I mean? Like able to be measured. So you could have like, I want to lose 5 pounds of fat. Do you know? I'm really confusing myself by giving so many examples, but achievable, so it has to actually be realistic. So, okay, 5 pounds of fat. How quickly can you lose that? Maybe 2 months. So the time, T, 2 months. Relevant, that's pretty relevant, you know, to what you want to do. Sometimes R stands for realistic as well. So R, realistic, yeah, that's pretty realistic. I'd say 5 pounds in 2 months if you're cutting back on carbs. So your new goal, rather than I want to lose fat, is I want to lose 5 pounds of fat in the next 2 months by cutting out carbs. Yeah, what did I say? I've confused myself, haven't I? But I hope that actually made sense. But as long as it's achievable and you have a set end goal, then you're going to find it so much easier. I did speak about end goals in the last episode as well, so definitely check that one out as well. And yeah, let's move on to the next point, because that one, I just confused myself there. I don't know why, because obviously I know what I'm talking about. I just really confused myself. I hope I didn't confuse you guys too much. But yeah, so the next one is reward yourself for the little wins as well as the big wins. I am a huge believer in this. So Obviously, it always feels good to be rewarded, no matter what you're doing. Of course it does. Rewards can also improve your motivation and therefore your performance and your progress and how well you're then progressing. So rewarding yourself for reaching small milestones and completing the big milestones as well can boost your enjoyment as well, because then you're getting rewards every so often, and it also just makes you feel so much better about yourself and you're actually getting somewhere. So personally, every time I hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, it's not like I properly reward myself, because obviously that's quite a frequent thing now. It happens every couple of days. I hit a new 100. I reward myself a little bit, I don't know, I'll be like, oh my god, yay, I just hit this. But when I hit 1,000, if I get to 16k, I post that on my Instagram story. If I hit another 1,000, every time I go up 1,000, sometimes even 500, I post that to my Instagram story. And I did that all the way up until I hit 15k. And then from 15k, I'm probably going to start doing every 1,000, because otherwise people will get a bit bored. But still, 16,000. Some people are like, that's not a milestone. To me, that's a milestone, because 16,000 people, that's a lot more than 15,000, and I want to celebrate that, and it makes me then want to work towards the next 1,000, because people congratulate you and you feel good about yourself. But these rewards really don't have to be big or cost a lot of money or anything. I literally, for 15,000, I had an ice cream and a drink, and it was a Tuesday night, and that's what I did. But I still celebrated, So here's some examples of things you could do to reward yourself. Take a short break. I mean, little wins we're talking about. So say you complete half an hour of homework, take a short break. You've done half an hour, well done. Go for a walk outside. Go, just clear your head a bit. Have a snack. Have one of your favourite snacks. Say you love prawn cocktail crisps. You've done an hour of maths homework. Brilliant. Go have some crisps. Say you love reading. You can take a break and read your favourite book or something. So say, I don't know, for example, my job, I film 3 videos. Oh, I can go read a chapter of my book, Then get back and film 3 more. Then you won't get bored as well. Spend a few minutes meditating if that's something you enjoy. It really depends on you. Personally, I would probably love to have going to the gym. That's kind of a reward for me at the moment. But I don't know, a bit of shopping, calling a friend, having a bath. That's definitely a reward. I love that. Playing a game, going for a day out, going a night out with friends, listening to your favourite podcast. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Don't know if you heard that, but listening to your favourite podcast, aka Cats Out the Bag. Literally whatever you think is going to make you happy and feel rewarded for something that you've done, then definitely take a few minutes to go and do that thing. So then, you've actually rewarded yourself for something. It makes you feel so much better. Maybe take a few minutes out of your day, or while you're listening to this podcast now, and make your own rewards list, so that when you do celebrate your wins, you have them ready to do. So that would be, that's definitely something you guys could do. I know I personally know all of the things that I love to do, so it's quite easy to think of rewards, but I don't know if for you guys maybe it doesn't come that easily. It just depends on what you like. If it's a really big win, sometimes I'll make a big purchase or something. I just hit 15k subscribers, so we went to London, went to the Gymshark store, little things like that. But yeah, so now the 7th one is to embrace positive peer pressure. This is a tricky one, it's a confusing one. If you're the one who puts in all of the work to achieve your goals, obviously you are. You're the one who puts in all of the work, to achieve your own goals. Sometimes other people can be great motivators, sometimes they're not. Sometimes if you're doing a group project, it really doesn't motivate you because they're not doing what they should be doing. But if you're part of a team, sometimes you just feel more engaged and your performance is better than if you're working alone. And depending on your goal, literally just being with a group of people can just really increase your motivation. So for example, say you want to run a marathon, maybe joining a running team, or if you've got an exam coming up, joining a study group, joining a gym class rather than doing exercises on your own. That can really actually increase your motivation, because when you're at the gym, if you're just looking around and you're doing your own machines, sometimes you're not motivated. However, if you go in with other people and you go into the classes, you'll feel so much more motivated just due to the fact that other people are actually doing it as well. Other people are doing exactly what you're doing, and if you're slowing down a bit and other people are still going, you're like, oh, okay, I need to keep going, you know? Makes you want to do it just a little bit more. So that's definitely something that helps. I mean, literally could be virtually as well. I don't know, it depends on like what you prefer. Some people don't like to interact with people in person, but it can seriously help, because obviously peer pressure isn't always a great thing. Like, if it's in the field that you're trying to achieve a goal in, then I'd go for it. Like, obviously, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm in a running race and there's 6 other people and they're running faster than me, that makes me want to run faster. However, if I'm running on a treadmill, I can go whatever speed I want, and I don't really care because there's no one to beat me. So going against yourself, like sometimes in competition with yourself, isn't good enough, and you need those other people around to basically, I say pressure, but I don't mean like pressure you into it, but it kind of does in your head. It just makes you want to do this more. So definitely would suggest doing things in groups, but also like sharing your goal with someone who like can help you with the goal, like really helps as well. So I don't know, say you're sharing your goal with, I don't know, if you're going to the gym and your goal is to, I don't know, like deadlift 60 kg, that's a really random one, then go to the people who work in the gym, get a personal trainer or a fellow gym member you admire, or watching YouTube videos or whatever. But it's obviously more like, it helps a bit more in person than over virtually, but depends on what you prefer, as I said. But with that help and support, they will show you new ways to do things, or like build you up. I don't know, it's a confusing one again. This episode's been a little bit more confusing than the first one, just because my notes haven't been the clearest, to be completely honest. But just like sharing your goals with other people as well can seriously help you to like put the work in and motivate yourself more. So the next one, and actually, hang on, how many have I done in this episode? Have I done 3? I think I have. Yeah, so this is the final one for this episode. So I don't know how I've got through those so quickly. I seem to ramble on a bit more in the first one. But so for this next one, this is practicing gratitude for yourself, basically. Feelings of gratitude can self-motivate you and therefore improve yourself. Make you feel connected to others. For example, like part of a team. So if you're all, like, if you've all won something, if you're all celebrating together, you know. Enhance motivation across time, like beyond the duration of the gratitude process. Like, so if you know that you've actually like celebrated that, it's gonna like go on for longer in your head. So also improves physical and mental health as well as sleep, which is pretty good. So practicing gratitude is obviously very healthy, and there's obviously so many ways to get this attitude of gratitude. So I don't know, there's some things that I've seen a few people doing, and I used to actually do, where in the first 5 minutes of their day, like, or when they first wake up, or the last 5 minutes of their day before they go to sleep, wake up and write a journal of things they're grateful for. Writing them down every single day so you remember. Sorry, I just hit the microphone. Is there something you're grateful for that day? Write it down. I've seen people do like 3 things a week, 3 things a day. There's definitely something you can think of every single day that you're grateful for today. Okay, let's do it now, guys. Maybe write some down. Get your notes page out now while you're listening to this and write down 3 things that you are grateful for today. Number 1, I have the ability to drive myself to the gym every single day. Straightforward. Doesn't have to be deep. Simple. 2, I'm grateful for all the people who watch me on YouTube. I'm grateful that I've hit 15,000 subscribers. That's the same thing. That's 2 things that I'm grateful for already that I've not even thought about. Number 3, I'm grateful for all of the opportunities that YouTube has given me. Buy myself my own equipment, buy myself my own cameras, everything. I'm grateful for that. It's so important to just write these things down so you just remember all these things you're grateful for. Just expressing your thanks and gratefulness, is that a word? Expressing everything you're grateful for, seriously, it's going to level you up, guys. You're going to level up quickly if you're actually writing down every single thing you're grateful for. Oh my goodness, like, level yourself up, guys. Let's get this self-motivation. That's going to motivate you so much more if you see all those things written down every single day. Like, that is insane. Yes, my mic has just cut out. I don't know if you've noticed. If you have, I'm very sorry. I don't know if the audio has saved, but my computer has just died, which means the audio is completely cut out, which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, hope you can still hear me all right. So yeah, that is actually the end of the episode. So pretty good timing of that the microphone dying out. But honestly, those things are just some of the reasons, some of the things that can help you feel more motivated. So that was tracking your progress, rewarding yourself for little wins as well as the big wins, embracing positive peer pressure, and practicing gratitude. Now I'm going to talk about 3 more, the final 3 in next week's episode. So hope you guys have enjoyed this one. If you have, you know what to do. If you're watching on YouTube, give a thumbs up, a subscribe, and comment of some ideas of things you want to see in future. And if you are listening, then definitely give a 5-star rating. So thank you all so much for watching / listening, and I'll see you guys in next week's episode. Mwah.